guys, and welcome to Ívar's fly workshop. This time we will be tying a Dýrbítur. I don't know if you can see it in really good focus. Dýrbítur is an Icelandic fly patterned by Mr. Sigurður Pálsson. He passed a few months back, or like a year and a half ago, and Siggi is a legendary angler here in Iceland, for sure. He has many flies designed by himself, and Dýrbítur is one of them. It's an excellent pattern for sea trout or sea run trout, and in this video we will be giving it a shot, and I'll be tying it in my own version, or picking colors and materials, but we will stick to the main pattern, but it's jazzed up a little bit. So let's give it a shot. So we are going to tie the Dýrbítur in this jazzed up version. So we will start by making like about 10 touching wraps with this lead-free wire I use. It is a Semperfli product made out of, I don't know, some sort of like an alloy blend or something. At least it has no lead in it, which is important nowadays due to lead pollution. And yes, of course, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. So I want the lead wire to be like wraps, so it's about until the middle of the hook shank or so. Take a few wraps to secure that to the shank as fast or hard as possible. You could use super glue here. That would be also like a pretty good option. And we'll do that just to place like a little touch of super glue on it. It's gonna make everything stay in its place. So the Dýrbítur fly is, we actually have another Dýrbítur video on the channel, but not like this one. I'm using an NS118 hooks from Ahrex. That's the classic streamer hooks from them. They're pretty durable and strong. And we'll start by using and wrapping our thread here to this point about and back and up on the lead wraps, and that will allow the thread to sink in the glue, so it's not going to go anywhere. And with this way and this method, the lead wraps are definitely gonna stay in place. I'm using 0.7 mil lead-free wire for this. And as I said, there is another Dýrbítur video here on the channel. Actually, that's the same color like this. It's a black Dýrbítur. You build up like a little bit of a thread base there to make it easier. And the Dýrbítur by Siggi Pálsson is a sea trout pattern. Probably one of the most known sea trout pattern in all of Iceland. The tail of the fly, I'm using a strong marabou, a single feather, and I want to pinch off those tiny ends, those narrow ends of the marabou, just like most of them. It does not have to be perfect, but just like something like this. This allows the feather to be like more lively in the water, and the length of the tail, that is like about the length of the hook shank, or about. And I will tie in the tail like so, not all the way to the top, because we want to match and make the width of the whole thing about equal. So I'll stop the feather there, where I end with the lead wrap or the lead-free wrap. So next step, I'm taking some crystal flush, pearl crystal flush, 2 strands or so, to give like a little sparkly effect to the tail of the fly. We'll tie that in like so on my side, and then I'm gonna take the front-facing crystal wraps, get them over here, and wrap them in with the thread like so. So that means they're like anchored down on each side with the thread. They're not gonna go anywhere. And you trim them in about the length of the tail. And when working with marabou, I find it very helpful to put just like a little saliva on your finger and do it like so with the wet the tail, so the fibers and the fluff is not anywhere in your way when you are working with the whole fly. The body is split in 2 parts, so you can either use like a struggly something silvery legs or whatever it's called for the first part of the body. You can also use like a dubbing brush, but I'm gonna just use chenille, silver chenille, just like what is used in the original version of this fly. So half of the body is made out of this chenille, which we're going to tie in right here, and half of it is made out of was made out of like a black chenille. At least the original fly was made out of black chenille, but we are going to change a little bit of course, change the course a little bit on that. So we will use something different for the frontal body. So here we have the first part of or half of the body, first half. I'm going to just tie this in here so it's totally secured down, and snip the rest of it off here, making sure not cutting the thread at the same time, the tying thread. For the front part of the body, I'm going to use those straggle legs from Semperfli in black instead of using a black chenille. It's like straggle legs. They are very useful to do lots of things while fly tying. This is like one of my favorite materials. I haven't used it too much on the channel, but we'll be using more of it. And you see how it builds up. And since I took that much of it, I'm going to use like a little more to build up like a struggly front part of the body. And then I'm just gonna take my dubbing brush to even out and straight out some of those fibers which are like standing out. And we'll catch that here with our thread. And as a matter of fact, with these Semperfli materials, it's not because I'm a pro team member or anything like that. It's only based on my experience with them. Those materials are extremely good and comfortable working with. Comfortable working with, as that said, we'll just go with the dubbing brush just a little bit through to get all the fibers of it out. And yeah, as I said, working with those materials is very comfortable. whether it's the threads or the or other materials that they are producing. It's a very, very fine thing, a fun thing to work with. Next step on the this fly is the so next step will be adding some green and black. It's like a chartreuse green legs, and we'll cut them in half like this. Take the couple of them here and place on the hook like this with few looser wraps, and then we'll fold them back. Take a few loose wraps, so there are 4 legs each side, so it's like quite a lot of legs, but it's gonna give it a great effect in the water. It's gonna stand out in the water, and we will be doing exactly the same. We'll be doing exactly the same thing on the other side. So we'll just tie them in here with couple of loose wraps, 2 or 3 loose wraps, and then we'll fold them back. That's gonna be anchoring them down on the place where we want them, and then it's gonna look something like this. Of course, it's not perfect. That has to do with it. I'm not a perfect fly tyer, but on the other hand, it works. And you can always like pull them a little bit to get them in the desired place that you wanted the legs to be at the end. So when we have them in the place we are like satisfied with them, you have to kind of line them up like this and hold them. Then we can start to build up like a head on the fly, which is like behind the bead. And even though the legs are not like willing to do what we want with them right here, especially this one standing out, that's okay, because when it's like in the water, the current of the water is gonna be okay. I'm gonna cut this one off just so it's like not standing out. The last step in the fly, that is the color of the fly, and I'm gonna be using like this black Schlappen feather we have, and about in this length of the fiber. This is like very long fibers. It's like super long. And the reason I'm not using the normal rooster or the just a black rooster or cock for this fly is because the Schlappen is softer, much softer material to work with, and it's has more motion in the water, much more motion in the water when it gets wet. So I'm gonna whip finish here before we put the Schlappen on, simply because we want to have like a double hot spot in the front of the fly, and I'll be using this fluor orange thread from Semperfli instead of the other one. So we'll start with that here, and then we are going to tie in the Schlappen, which you already prepared with like a little brush on the bottom, as you see. It makes it way easier to tie in. Shiny side of the feather facing forward, as always. And then we'll take some tight wraps here to tie that in. And then we'll wrap the feather around. Get rid of this thing first. And then we'll wrap the Schlappen around, and make sure to comb the fibers backwards if possible. With that way we'll take 2 or 3 wraps. We probably need, I will suggest to just use your hackle pliers, not your fingers. It maybe works using your fingers when you're working with such long fibers, but hackle pliers is always more, it's gonna be easier. Imagine that, I managed to not use hackle pliers on it. That's, I would say that's luck of a draw kind of thing also. So now we have to take the fibers of the Schlappen, every single one of them, and pinch them like this, as many as possible, to get them to face backwards, simply because we are going to build up like a little head on the fly here to make this double hotspot, and it makes sense to produce the head like this, also to keep the fibers facing backwards. And then we can get rid of the tag end of the end, and then some of those extra fibers that are sticking out. And you can go with the dubbing brush a little bit through the fibers. Some of them are like still sticking together. It's okay to loosen them up a little bit using your dubbing brush. And now we will start to build up like a solid orange head on the fly. Something like this. And then we are good to go. Going with finishing, I'm gonna trim off those 2 little fibers which I didn't see. Something like this. And try to make the wrap so it's like filling in and being like a complete hotspot. Then I'll be whip finishing and with a couple of knots, and then we'll be placing some glue on the fly. And I'm gonna use a UV resin or UV glue this time, and we'll just place like one round of that and then zap it with our light, and we should be good to go, like so. So the Dýrbítur in this version is kind of ready, and we'll just zap it with our light here. I just wanted to say to you guys, thanks for watching. Remember to, of course, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Support the channel if you like. And I will see you guys in the next video and all that. And you see how the UV light goes for the legs. The legs are UV reflective. So until next time, I just want to say to you guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.